Long time no see.
How are you guys?
Good.
We're just
Doing
trying to
good.
tell some jokes while we're waiting for Stephanie and Zach.
That's a good idea. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
I ate map.
No, I didn't.
Why am I the only one that doesn't get this?
I ate Matt poop.
Ew, you ain't got this. Real mature, huh?
Can you see me?
I can see you.
You got to scoot closer.
Huh?
Oh,
Yeah, Zach, can you move closer to your wife? Do you like your wife?
yeah.
The chair. It's like
got an
it's
arm,
a giant
you know?
office chair. Here, maybe it's
She can sit in a
Go ahead. Ew,
I'm just
PDA,
teasing.
ew.
That's chapter 9, right?
Okay.
Not chapter
You
10.
guys are in your bed. Talk about PDA.
yeah.
We've got nowhere else to go.
Yeah,
That
that's true.
doesn't sound bad.
Well,
This is a G-rated conversation, though.
That's good to know ahead of time.
yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the other ones where like I'll take like 30 seconds clips and I edit the whole thing. So
I'm sure you haven't watched any of those. Yeah.
I haven't.
So supportive.
Where?
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. He is a good guy.
that's what this is all about, supporting each other and Zach.
Where's this streaming at, anyways? Paramount? What is this?
Yeah, that's what exactly.
Angel
Exactly.
Studios.
Oh,
Would you say
maybe
Angel?
that would be cool.
Who knows?
What's in your
Eric's totally involved right now. What are you doing? I think he's
Waiting for these cats to get into the herd.
I'm gonna take this
He's over us already.
on my side of the room.
This isn't fun.
You should pray.
Okay. Father God, thank you, Lord, for this time, for this opportunity to come together and to discuss marriage and discuss fun. And Lord, I just praise your name. I just I hope that what we would do here would be honoring and glorifying to you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. So
Amen.
thank you guys for doing this. Talk to me about your marriage. Tell me a little bit about being friends. Were you guys friends before you met? Or were you guys each romantically involved before you met? Does that make sense? Did you for example, Eric and I
Were you friends first, or did you date first? Is that the
Yeah.
question?
because we were friends first, right?
Yeah.
That's what I would say. Well, I made him wait 3 months before we could date, so I guess we were friends.
It's not necessarily by my choosing, but it's what it is.
I didn't want him to be the rebound guy, so
3 months
like
was
that.
the time.
yeah, 3 months is the
That
automatic
was your
time.
magical.
Well, it worked because since then we've never broken up. We've been together every day since.
I wanted to date her the moment we met, but she was dating someone else at the time. So it was kind of a bummer. But then they broke up and I was like, score.
Then you swooped in.
Swooped in.
She was like, let's just be friends. And I was like, sure.
Let's not.
Because we started out as friends. Who knows?
Let's go with that.
Zach and Stephanie, what about you guys? Were you guys friends first? Did you guys know each other first?
Go ahead.
Yes. We did. We knew each other first. She was friends with my sister first. So we all went to church together and stuff throughout junior high and that kind of thing. So they knew each other well, and I would see her, and they'd hang out, and so yeah, we knew of each other and knew each other before we said we would get together.
How long have you guys been married? Zach and Stephanie.
12 years.
Yep.
And then how long have you known each other?
Oh. At least 20. I would say 22-ish.
Sure.
Okay.
How old am I? Maybe 25.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it goes quick.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you guys were
Yeah.
young when you knew each other, like knew about each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Which is nice. You know, you had that familiarity when things came back around.
So Taylor and Tyler, how did you guys know each other first, or did you start dating first?
Started dating first.
Yeah. We met on a blind date because our mom set us up, and we just kind of jumped right into things right away. It was good. It was really good.
How long have
Hairdressers
you guys
do
been
good
together?
kind of gossip, I guess you could say. No, 5 years.
We've been together for 5 years now, and we've been married for 3 years.
Newlyweds still.
Still.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit. Yeah.
That's great.
Hmm.
Hey, do you guys even think about being friends in your marriage? Does it even come across your mind? Like, do you ever look at your spouse and go, I like you more than a spouse, you're my friend? Seriously, no, like do you guys, because I find myself often in conversations, I'll like tell people that I like my husband. I'll be like, I like him. And they laugh at me, and but I'm really serious in that moment because I feel like there's a lot of spouses that don't even like each other. You know, all they do is like bite at each other, and it's like they don't even know how to even like each other. So what do you guys think about that?
I'd answer, but I'm not in a safe place. Just kidding. Yeah, for sure. No, yeah, yeah. It's nice. I think that's part of it, right? Like if you're going to commit to spend your life with somebody, hopefully it's somebody you like. I don't know why you would not do that. You know, or I don't know why you would commit to that with somebody you don't like. I don't quite understand that. Also, I don't know how you would stop liking someone that you like. It might just change a little, but you still like them, right?
But I've seen some people get together that that's toxic. You know what I mean? And maybe they shouldn't have been together. Um, I've seen people get together out of duty. Like for example, one night stands, people that um have a baby. And I applaud that they are willing to do the right thing, but then they almost have to like get to know each other or like each other. You know, they don't automatically like they might like each other in lust, but then do they really like each other? Or like for example, arranged marriages. Those happen. So I don't know. I guess I've seen some marriages that are together that aren't people just don't like each other sometimes. Anyway, I'm glad I like you. I like you a lot.
Well, thanks. I like you
Ours
too.
was kind of arranged.
Yeah, a little bit.
But would do again. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Wait, are you
Uh,
saying you would go for a different arranged marriage now? You would do that again? Is that what you're saying?
Same one. Like Groundhog Day. Yeah.
Yeah, do it over.
Groundhog Day. Yeah,
Just
yeah.
Yep.
keep doing it.
Wake up and do it again. Yeah.
Ned Ryerson. Okay, am I the only one that's seen Groundhog Day?
Good
I
stuff.
haven't seen it, but
Oh no.
I-
Okay.
But
get
just
where
don't
you're
do it
going.
anyways.
I think that it's possible to like someone, but then when you get into the throes of everyday life and you get into like the reality of living with someone,
Mhm.
I mean, uh, I think there's definitely traits of people that when you're in close enough proximity to them for long enough, there's things that they're going to do that are going to be like, I really wish you wouldn't do that. That's kind of annoying. And I think if you allow yourself to focus on the annoyances rather than on all the other stuff, I think that's how you can really get into trouble with, oh, I don't like falling out of like with someone. I was joking with Aaron the other day, and it was something that at this point, I'm not even sure that she was doing it or what, but in our bathroom, we have this toilet paper holder. And every time I would go in there, and the roll would have been changed, it was upside down. And is it a big deal that the toilet paper's upside down? No, not really. I would just flip it. No big deal. But I would notice it every time, and I'm like, is she putting this on upside down intentionally? Does she not know which way right side up is? And then it was like, or maybe she realizes that I'm flipping it, and this is just a game we're playing that we haven't really that it's just kind of hasn't been discussed. But then when I finally mentioned something about it in front of her, she's like, "I'm not putting it on upside down." I'm like, "Well, somebody is, and it's not me." So it was just kind of one of those things. It's like, I suppose I could have let that annoy me, but it was like I just found it funny.
You looked at it as it could be playfulness
Yeah, and I'm like,
instead
a
of
fun
just
game.
ticked.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, she put it on upside down again. Now I will say that since I've mentioned it, it hasn't been upside down since. So I don't know what's going on there, but well, I'm gonna get to the bottom eventually.
Until today. Tonight it will be. Might be changed. Might be on wrong tonight.
I'm gonna put it on upside down.
Well, these are the important things in life, people. How to put the toilet paper on correctly. Is it like a mullet or like a beard, as the two bearded men are in our.
Just remember, beards are cool, mullets are dumb.
That's the truth there. Wisdom and truth. For
These
sure.
are
No,
the-
to your point though, Eric, yeah, I think there's something to be said about humility too when you enter any relationship, right? I mean, if you were to be in a stance of arrogance and let those things, annoy you or dictate how the relationship goes, and that's a fool's move anyways, no matter what the relationship is.
I love that point because it's easy for me to point out the toilet paper thing or whatever. Like I said, when you live with somebody, there's going to be things about them that annoy you, but it's folly to think that there aren't things about you that annoy them too. And it's like she chooses to ignore that, so that's kind of cool. Like, oh no, man, there's stuff. Trust me.
It's good priorities too, because we all come across things that are legitimate things to be upset about at times, or legitimate grievances, or things that need to be discussed. So if you're wasting your time on those things that are the small things and sweating the small stuff, then you come into a situation that really does need hashed out, that really does need a lot of grace thrown on it, that really does need a lot of good, healthy communication already charged from all these things that didn't matter. It's a lot more likely for it to swerve the wrong way then too.
It's one thing if you're like, hey, this one thing you're doing is really bothering me and I need you to change it, versus if everything really bothers you, what's important.
Yeah.
It starts to sound a little bit like, instead of sounding like I don't like this one behavior, it sounds like I don't like you.
If you play that record in your mind all the time, then I've seen people who that becomes the soundtrack then. And then that's where you end up with the divorce 10 years down the road, or you end up with 30 years of living with someone that it just ends up being a dry desert instead of a garden.
I think it's important that when the scriptures say love is patient, love is kind, and then it says love keeps no record of wrongs. It's like, yeah, don't keep score.
So what do you guys do? The reason why I thought you guys would be both great couples for this one is I find that you guys tend to do a lot of things together, whereas there's some couples where it's kind of isolated, the wife does more things with the kids and maybe the husband goes and does things with his buddy or work or blah, 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 blah. But you guys tend to do a lot of things together. What kind of hobbies or things do you guys do together?
Is this still G-rated? Okay.
All the men were on the same page.
Not the sex chapter or not.
I was going to say butchering chickens.
Yeah, I wondered if you were.
That's the first thing that came to mind. We just try to do whatever we can. Whatever we do, we usually do it together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even just you plan on going and making a trip to Lowe's, that was unexpected. And it's like, if I'm able to have the time to go with him, then I'll just go with him. Because it's sometimes things are so busy and life is so busy that it's like you take the moments you can when you can get it and kind of make a thing out of it.
Well, let me dig into that a little bit more. So, like, you guys go on your trip to Lowe's. Do you listen to music together? Do you talk about your day? Do you just sit quietly? Is it all of the things? What do you guys like do?
Usually end up kind of just talking to each other, and it'll be just about anything. And that's when sometimes like deeper thoughts are able to come out, and like maybe, oh, I've been thinking about this and it kind of bothers me, but I didn't know it till I started talking to you. And then there's a moment that can happen, whether it's just like everyday life stuff or an issue with school or something like that. Like, and then it can kind of, that support can come, and it's just on an unexpected trip to Lowe's.
Is it kind of like, hey, I've been thinking we should get chickens. It's a great idea. Let's get some chickens.
Sometimes.
Oh, earlier this year it was we should cancel that order of chickens. We're going to be too busy, and thankfully we did because we did not have time this year.
But that's something you guys both love and you both enjoy doing together is chickens. What does that look like?
Think that one, because it's like a planned thing, like you take the time to order them, it takes a long time to grow it out. You know this day is coming. You know that when you have to do it, it's going to be like 2 solid days of like a hard work activity that's rewarding because you get tons of food out of it for the rest of the year. And it's almost like climbing a mountain together, because it's like you've got a bunch of prep you have to do in the morning to get everything set up. Then you've got the main part during the day, and we have our rhythm, and I rely on him for a certain part of it. He relies on me for another part of it. And then at the end of the day, it's the closing out and getting everything packed up. And
Yep.
it's cool to be able to look at it and be like, we did this together. And it's something that provides for our family in a really direct way. I don't know if any of that makes sense, but it's really satisfying when it's all said and done.
And she does all the things that I don't like to do, and I do all the things she doesn't like to do. So it's perfect.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I absolutely love that because you guys are taking something like I think people think it needs to be big and flashy sometimes, how we can like be in step together and doing things that are fun. But you guys are just taking something that provides for the family and you're doing it together. Even just going to Lowe's so that you can do your job. Tyler, I love that. I love that. Stephanie and Zach, what do you guys do together?
We actually are similar. We do life together. I mean, like similar with if you were going to the grocery store, we're gonna go together, or I don't know. We just like to be together, so we are doing it together, I guess. Is there something else you want to add?
No, that's what I was going to say. When we committed to living life together, even with our kids, it's the same thing. We if we have an errand to run, we all go. If we have a event to go to, we all go. That's part of it. And like Taylor was saying, it's not anything big, and the conversations just kind of unfold. But if something does come up or something does happen, then we're all there to share it together. And that's those things, over time, even if it wasn't planned, those little things add up and help, bond everybody.
Like Eric's mom, he grew up a single mom and him, and she would take you on car rides and they would talk. That was their talking time. So like it's almost like when he wants to chat or he wants to just have something, he's like, let's go take a car ride. And I've had to learn to enjoy long car rides because that's our time to talk and our time to bond, even though that's not something that like we would do Sunday drives every once in a while or something like that, but my parents don't really love driving, so we never did that. So, but you lived in the country, so you had to probably drive further than.
Well, I mean, when I was real little, the grocery store was 45 minutes.
It's so great how we can even take those simple moments and connect, like you guys were talking about with just being together. But I love so Stephanie and Zach, you plan a lot of trips and stuff though too, don't you? You plan some things where you guys can go do fun things together. What does that look like?
I mean, we try. You know, try to make it work when we can, even just a day trip or an extended weekend. We'll do that here and there. It's not super often, but like if Zach has a work trip, we try to tag along because, you know, even if we can get a little bit of time is better than no time for all of us.
Yeah, I think that you know, as we're talking, I think Taylor and Tyler, it's the same thing, and you guys, and even Eric when he was younger with his mom. If it has to be an event, then am I really valuing time together, or am I valuing the event? You know, all these little things we do together. If we're really in that, then we're learning to value the time together, just as that, just as the time together, no matter what the thing is, right? If it has to be a thing, then maybe you're not really valuing time together. You're valuing the things more, or the events, or, you know, special occasions, or whatever it is. Not that those are bad things, but you can get caught up in those instead of the time together.
Zach, that was a mic drop moment. That was so good. We've really bonded over hobbies too. We've had in the book we talk about modern warfare. We were like video gaming together. We bought a boat and did boating for a while together. Now we're kind of farming land things together. But it's even as simple as like um finding a television show that we enjoy together. I think it's so funny. I was talking to someone the other day, a female, and she was saying how her and her husband don't even watch TV together. They watch totally different television. And I'm like, when we were trying to figure it out, I'm like, what do you do? What do you do with your husband? Other than make babies? Like, do you guys spend any time together? What do you guys do anything? I know there's chickens and I know there's trips and stuff. Like, what else do you guys kind of do?
Go visit our family when we can.
Mhm.
So like a couple Saturdays ago, it was our family Christmas, and my brother Clay couldn't make it because he didn't have his kids that weekend. So he went up last weekend or last Saturday, I should say, and we didn't have anything going on that Saturday. So we're like, let's just make another trip and go for that, you know, that Christmas with him and his kids. And then we visited my grandparents, her grandparents, and just made a whole day of it.
Mhm.
Just things like that.
I have to say one of the things, and I think you feel this way too, that I really enjoy cooking with him, which like our second date, I remember on our first date, we went to an Indian buffet and I asked him because like I could tell he wanted to have a second date. And I was like, "Do you want to come over to my place and make a meal together?" And he was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And it was so much fun. And whenever we cook, it's like, to me, it's just like, it hits whatever note that was in my brain. And it's probably, we don't get to do it as much together anymore because throughout the week, like, depending on when you get home, we're all ready to eat. You know what I mean? But that's something that I really enjoy doing with him.
We like hospitality together, but it's kind of like when Tyler was talking earlier, like with the chickens, like you do things that Taylor doesn't like doing and vice versa. So I'm a really, really, really horrible cook. Like I could win America's Worst Cook television show. If they ever asked me, I would win. I'm the worst. And I'm the worst. It's just the worst. And but he's a really good cook. But I can help with like hospitality, so it's really good like how we can balance each other out.
Cool, cool. There's not much do we do anything? We don't do anything, do we?
We don't have specific hobbies, I wouldn't say. You know, actually, I don't know that I have a hobby personally, anyways, right now. So, I mean, we just like being together.
Our hobby is finding out her hobby. It's a mystery. We're still working on it.
We do really love whatever will make us laugh together. Uh, you know, sometimes it's a silly joke that the kids say or something silly at the store, but that's my favorite thing.
Are you going with my hobby as life?
I don't know, laughing? Can it be laughing? I mean, I don't really cook either, but
This is not the time for this discussion.
Laughing could be a hobby if you guys like tell each other jokes or if that's really what. Yeah, can it?
music, we really bond over music, you know. Um, putting
I
on
was
some
going to
music
ask
in
if
the
you guys
car.
did music together.
You know, just a little bit. We do that.
Talk about that a little bit though. Talk about the worship band and talk about worshiping together because that is something you guys do.
I feel like that is really big for us. Um, it means a lot to us. It means a lot to me that he's right there with me. Um, and it doesn't even have to be him playing an instrument, but his heart is also for worship.
Well, I would say, you know how earlier we talked about there's an element of humility in any relationship. Well, being able to worship together is a very intimate, vulnerable position to be in. So being able to be comfortable doing that is super huge because, you can be that intimate. That's an extra layer that, some people don't get to. And so we love being there. It's a little scary at first, when you try that, and you're both just opened up, and so that's a little nerve wracking. And there's things that uncover along the way that you might be nervous about sharing, but you share anyways, and then it's just a lot stronger because you can be that open with each other.
I remember when we were first dating and I walked away from my faith for a while and then I came back to church and he had been there for a while for I don't know, you'd been there
I just
and
beat her back to it. So
he beat me back
same
to
thing.
it. And so I had been coming to church for a little while and we started dating. And I remember that wrestle of lifting my hands. And it was going to be the first time really that I've done it outside of being a teen at a concert. And he was there. And it was like, if this is going to go anywhere, I have to be comfortable worshiping in front of him because it's so huge. And so I think starting off on that path and then, just right out the gate, I think that was probably helpful for me, anyways, the vulnerability in it.
You guys have fun and you bond. It gives you something to talk about through the week, right? I would assume. And I would assume that sometimes you have fun together, worshiping, I would hope.
Yeah, absolutely. It's another priority that we will share, another thing that we both value probably at the same level. So that helps.
I love that when we're doing things at the same level, like, right? So like boating or modern warfare was probably the thing we did really probably the same level the best. Um,
She's better than me.
but with But with like the like woodworking, Eric's now into woodworking and I want to be in, but so we find ourselves like at this interesting place right now where our hobbies or what we normally would bond us together have kind of changed. So have you guys ever gone through any seasons like that where something's changed? And then how do you guys kind of feel when you're like, oh, I need to spend more time with my spouse? Like I feel a little distant. I feel like we need to do something fun or how do you guys identify that and what do you kind of do to strengthen those moments when you feel like, oh, I need more time with them?
So Aaron mentioned like I'm kind of messing around with woodworking. I mean, by messing around, I don't do anything halfway, so I'm kind of all in. Um, there's a there's like a superstore about an hour and a half from here in Amish country, and it's great. I love it there. Like I could hang out there all day. It wouldn't be a problem. Tyler's been with me, and Aaron said the other day, she's like, "Well, I want to go there with you." Like it's not really her thing, but we'll have the time together. We'll have the time in the car. We'll have the time on the way back. And I said, well, then instead of us taking, driving in the car for 3 hours in one day and going to the place I want to go, why don't we make a weekend of it? And we'll get a hotel up in Berlin. We'll spend the night and we'll go to the lumber store and check it out. And then we'll go have lunch and then we'll come home and, we'll get a little like retreat and we can do some other fun things. And, So I think that's a way to kind of incorporate, the things that I like together with, including her in it and not including her in a way that it's like, let me just torture you with the thing I like that you don't care about. That's all I got.
I would
Moving
so we
back to Stephanie, and then you're like over there, and we're just like each other.
It doesn't ground me this
you're
desk.
fine.
I'm getting cold, so
Here, go over here.
Now you're off the script.
Well, yeah, we'll move the screen. Like,
Shuffle.
so let's talk about dragging people in, like videos and stuff, and dragging people to do things. Yeah.
Oh, let me just tell you about that. She made me write a book.
it was great, by the way.
Oh no. Oh,
Oh, you're back.
Did you
can you
lose
see
us?
it? We
I can
did.
see you.
Sorry. Okay, that's good.
It says our internet connection is unstable, but at least our relationship.
So good.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Got that.
it's hiccupy.
It did it again.
It was awesome. You're like, says our internet connection's unstable, but at least our relationship freeze.
Isn't.
Yeah.
Here we go.
You go outside and point that satellite dish a little bit differently or something.
Not in this weather.
Taylor, do you have any big thoughts? You usually have big thoughts.
I think that when it's been too much away or too much doing individual things, even if it's like individual hobbies, I feel like for me, I don't know if it's like a woman thing or what, but it's like I just have this raw gut feeling of like a need. And it's like probably because physical touch is one of my love languages. I'll feel that I need to be close to him and that I just need to be very physically close to him. And I feel like that's something that is for me, that's my barometer and like my indicator that I know when I start to feel that way, I know that we need to draw in and we need to have time together, regardless of what that time is. Like it needs to be, we need it because my meter's starting to get low somewhere.
I wonder if I can remember. I don't know if you guys have ever heard the love bank. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this concept, but it's when you have two people in a relationship, you have like a love bank, and either you can deposit coins in and your bank can fill up, or you can keep taking out, right? So if we're saying something negative about each other, we're taking out another part of the love bank. If we're not spending time, then it might be part of the love bank. And is it low? Kind of like what you were saying, Taylor, you feel that emptiness. So your bank feels low, it feels empty. So when we like say something kind to each other, if we give each other a hug, like if we spend, if we go on a car ride with each other, we're filling up that love bank. And sometimes I have to look at myself and say, have I filled up Eric's love bank? Have I done something kind to invest in my marriage and invest in my relationship? Or am I just asking, am I needling him every day, just saying, hey, give me more, so I really appreciated thought on that, because it really made an impact in the way I visualize relationships.
Anytime that's happened on our end, it's almost like I don't know if it's because we value each other or our time together so much or what it is, but anytime that happens on our end, we're open enough to communicate that to each other, and then that in itself becomes the fix.
Mhm.
Does that make sense? So like we've felt distant or we haven't been connected, and somebody will say something, and then that'll turn into a conversation till 2 a.m. in the bathroom or kitchen or what, you know what I mean? And that was what we needed. And so then we're back to good. And we didn't have to do anything different or special. We just had to air it out.
I feel like I will get to a point, like when you said with the communication, please, piece, it's like the hold me like a baby. And it's like once I feel like I'm at the hold me like a baby point, I tell him and I say it just like that. And it's like, then we know we need that special time. We need that whatever it is. And like you said, it's like it resolves.
I never knew what that was called, but it definitely feels like hold me like a baby because I need that.
You hold her like a baby, Tyler?
Yeah,
Do you guys have code words, Zach and Stephanie? I know you said you identify with hold me like a baby, but do you have something you say?
We don't have code words for that.
Typically, it's not a code word. I think we can just read each other. So he might get extremely quiet and a little more reserved. And I
Throw a bag of cheese. Oh,
um get a little bit more anxious and aggressive, I guess. And so then in that space, we know that we are dry and need to reconnect desperately.
yeah. It just takes the other person going, "What's happening here?" Huh?
How does that work for us? You got any deep thoughts?
No. I feel like we've known each other so long. Like, I don't know that we need a code word. I think we can just tell.
Yeah. I think we're just kind of blunt. I don't think there's any code words or anything. But that's not how it was in the beginning of our marriage. Like I probably was a little more passive aggressive. I'd feel empty and probably need that hold me like a baby thing, but I wouldn't have recognized it. I wouldn't have known it. I probably just fell off and I didn't know why or whatever. But then when we got to time to spend with each other or something, and then I'd be like, oh, I feel better. But I don't know if I ever really understood it in the beginning of our marriage. Like maybe I identify now.
I think a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times when we would get to that place where, it would get kind of ugly, it was usually because I would tie it back to just being separate and not doing the fun together stuff. Like I remember at one point in time I got this online video game called Ultima Online. And it was like an online role-playing game that you made a character and you went around and just tried to like level up. And it took forever. Like forever. Days and days and days to get one thing done. And I was playing all the time. And Aaron would like come in, are you gonna come to bed at some point? I'm like, yeah, at some point, maybe like 3, 4 in the morning, maybe. And like that was pretty early on in our marriage. And she would get frustrated, but she wouldn't articulate her frustration. I could tell she was frustrated, but I didn't understand what I was doing wrong. Um, and it really came down to was it just I was having fun, but not with her. So I was having fun, but she wasn't.
It's really interesting when we figured out some of those triggers and then how we mitigated them or changed them. So like now we kind of have a rule. It's not a hard and fast rule. But we go to bed together. Um, like if he's sit up watching a football game, I'm gonna sit up and watch the football game with him. We don't have a TV in our bedroom. We took that out years ago, and I think that was really good because now we don't have a distraction in the bedroom. He can't get lost watching a program and not pay attention to me. Now we can have our end of the day conversation, stuff like that. So it's things like, okay, you can have Ultima Online, but what do we do together? There has to be something that balances. So I really like that you said that just because sometimes people get mad and then they just keep going, but like, how do we mitigate it? Can we identify that this is an issue? But now that this is an issue, how can we do better moving forward? And so that's why when we found Modern Warfare, it was playing video games, but we played it together. And right now we're not playing video games, but we're not playing them together. Like we're doing other things together. So, and I'm not saying you can't do things alone, like he does woodworking or I crochet or I write books and blah, 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 blah. But it's just, it's trying to be balanced in a healthy way.
I think too, I like that you mentioned that also because it took a level of compromise from both of you to recognize what the other person needed. So Eric could have very well been ticked off at you and thought that you were the selfish one when you thought he was being selfish, or you could have thought he was being selfish, but he just didn't recognize that you needed something else. And then that could have just bottled up and created something else. But it did take both of you compromising and communicating about it.
The reality of it is that I was being selfish. And I was ticked off at her because I thought she was being selfish. Because I was like, I work hard. Why can't I enjoy my time when I'm not working? I should be allowed to do what I want to do. And I think it goes back to Zach's point from earlier. Like there's a level of humility that needs to come in, and even beyond that, I call it selflessness. Like you just have to give up your rights and say, you know what? Should I be allowed to come home from work and do stuff that's fun and enjoyable to de-stress and blow off steam? Yeah, absolutely. But does that mean I can abandon my partner? No, absolutely not. So there has to be that balance. There has to be that accord between the two of you. And she doesn't begrudge me my time, but it's because I don't just go running off doing whatever I want all the time. And I think that's the key to this having fun together is when you find stuff you can do together, you get both worlds, right? You get to de-stress, you get to blow off steam, you get to do recreational things that aren't work, and you're also spending time with your spouse, so it's not stealing from the marriage.
So if you guys saw someone in trouble, like a marriage in trouble, or you maybe could identify that you're seeing one person being isolated or one person being very selfish, and you had a way to speak into a marriage without forcing yourself in, like a couple came to you and they asked, hey, what's a suggestion you would give to us? What's the suggestion you would give to couples? What do you guys think? Any thoughts on what you would say?
It's important. I think earlier, like we talked, people get self-centered and arrogant and think that the other person is somehow holding them back or a barrier that they have to overcome. And you growing is important, no doubt. But if you've committed to, this life together, ultimately that's a little more important than you yourself, right? So you growing helps the marriage, certainly. But if you growing is taking away from the marriage, you're probably not growing in the right way anyways, I would say. So the other person can't be holding you back because you are one. So if they're struggling, you're struggling too, even if it's not you yourself because you're together.
That reminds me of something I say often when it comes to marriage is work. I think we don't, and I don't think people think about that. I think people think, oh, I go to work to get a paycheck. You have to go to work to get a paycheck. You have to invest to get a paycheck, right? Kids have to do homework, right? To get their grades, or you have to do housework to make sure your house looks good. So I don't know why we don't bring that word into marriage. It's not like I don't want it to be work like struggle, but it's an investment. Like you have to work at it, or it's just gonna fall apart, kind of like Taylor, we were talking about earlier, where it's just like all of a sudden you see each other and you're like, who are we anymore? And I think a lot of that's because people abandoned working at it, and they're like, oh, this should just magically happen. This marriage should just be, it should just always be great. And I think when we take that selflessness and we say, I'm going to put aside being selfish, that takes work, that takes energy. And I think people are uncomfortable with that. But I think if they can go, I love my spouse, I like my spouse, and I want to invest in that marriage, and I want to work at my marriage. I think that's when people can really see blessing and healthy stuff come out of there.
I think when you decide to get married, like it's usually like it's all rainbows and unicorns, right? Like you're looking at it like this is going to be great. This person's my favorite person. Everything's going to be perfect. And then, you take your vows and you say for better or worse, in sickness and in health and all those things. And I don't think that people really think about what that really means, realizing that it's not always going to be easy. The world is not always going to be perfect. You're not always going to feel like you felt on your wedding day. You're not always going to feel that way. Some days you're going to feel down and not good and not like that. Things are going to happen. There will be trials. You'll have sickness. You'll have financial troubles. You'll have things that come into your life that are challenges that aren't like just, oh, no problem. We'll just walk through this. Um, and I think that, you have to get out of your own way and realize that when those things happen, you're still partners and you're still together in it. So you can weather pretty much anything together, but you're not going to make it by yourself.
Any big wrapping up thoughts that you would bestow upon us in the listening world?
I think it's fun. I think it's a fun project to be working on, building a strong marriage. And I think that that's the foundation of a lot of other fun projects like family and things like that that can sustain you and you can keep working on. So I knew it was worth getting into it. That sounds bad, but I knew what it was, and I was excited to be able to look back and say, we've built this and all the things that would offshoot from it. So, yeah, that's fun to me.
I guess I would point out that if it was easy and if it wasn't work, if it was just easy, it would have less value. When you have to work at it, when you have to earn it, it's much more valuable, in my opinion.
That's what she keeps
I agree.
saying. I don't know.
But, and that might be why, well, you almost said if it was easy or if it was hard, no one would do it or whatever. You didn't say that. That's something that's common that you would say.
But if it was easy, everyone would do it.
Yeah, I guess where I'm going with that is it's almost interesting. It just came up to me because like people aren't getting married anymore. And they're missing that value that you were just talking about. It's like it's like an escape clause. It's like if I don't get married, then I can get out at any time. I don't, you know what I mean? They don't invest like they used to.
Yeah, I mean, there's a different chapter to get off on this tangent, but there's this whole new trend now, and if this is you, please don't take offense, but these young couples, even when they do get married, they still keep everything separate. Like they've got separate finances, separate bank accounts, and it's like, how does that even work? Like I can't wrap my brain around it. It works for them, but it doesn't make any sense to me. I can't figure out how that's possible. And maybe it's just because I'm suddenly old. I don't know how that happened.
I'm one that's scared of commitment. So, I take it very seriously when I commit to something. And so something like marriage, I can see where that might seem like a better idea because you're not invested as much, like you say. But man, I can promise you that the things I've committed to in my life were much better for me. I needed those boundaries. I needed that structure to help push me forward in a lot of different ways. If I would have just done whatever I wanted all the time, I wouldn't have grown in so many different areas. You know what I mean? Looking back now, I can see, oh, it's so beneficial. But even getting married, I was excited about it. But man, the day came and I had to walk out that door and I wasn't sure about it. That's a big deal, like that's the rest of my life,
Am I really
He
doing
told me
this?
that after the fact, after we got married, he was like, "So I was thinking about not." And I was like, "What?"
What?
It's a big deal.
Oh,
I
yeah,
want
you
to take
can't
it
tell you that
serious,
before.
But on the other side of that, I will say, so he says, he was considering not because it's a big commitment, but I remember when we first got married, we would have a disagreement and I just wanted to leave. Like I would grab my keys and that's what I thought you were supposed to do. And he would grab my keys and he says, "No, we're doing this." And so he's in it. He was in it. He would not let me leave. We had to discuss it. Of course I was safe, like he wasn't going to hurt me or anything, but I just wanted to shut down and isolate myself. And he was committed. And so I don't even grab my keys anymore. Actually, I haven't in a long time.
I think that's a really good example because I think a lot of the younger people who aren't getting married are in part under the impression that it is too much work and it is easier to be by yourself, but that's not true. Even if you live alone, there's still work. And sometimes being in this extended state of adolescence, it's okay when you're in your 30s, maybe, but then when you start getting to your 40s and your 50s and you're still there and you haven't developed beyond I leave whenever there's an argument because you haven't had someone else there to help shape you to be a person who can withstand the argument, who can come out the other side. that ends up being a real problem. And then you do look back on your life and what's been made out of it versus what you now can look back on and see what's become of you and what's being made out of it.
Well, it's one of those things like the goal isn't the most comfortable. The goal isn't to be the easiest. The goal isn't to be happy. Those are all, that's just all marketing. None of that is what you want, really.
Mhm.
What you really want to do is
Yep.
grow. We want to
Yeah.
grow and develop. That's what we want
Yeah.
ultimately, but I think people are afraid of that.
Yes. Because it takes vulnerability to do that. And man, if vulnerability is not something it's required for the successful marriage. And it's hard, but it's good.
Yeah, and we started dating. We both kind of had been in some relationships in the past that were like we're um trying to figure out the best way to say it. We didn't want to screw around. Didn't want somebody to be lying. So we decided to just be open and honest with each other from the beginning about everything, no matter what.
Mhm.
And that's served us pretty well.
Mhm. And it's not, like you said, it's not always easier
Yeah.
when you do it that way. It's definitely not always easier, but you grow and you overcome a lot that way
Mhm.
that you wouldn't be able to if you were just on your own.
Such good stuff. You guys are awesome. It's so fun to be able to chat with you guys. I love you guys so much. Anything anyone decided they wanted to say that they didn't say?
Didn't think of a joke.
Oh,
Let's
what's
hear
your
it.
joke?
So God told man that he would find obedient wives in all the corners of the world, and then he made the earth round.
He knows what he's doing,
Who are we to question?
Yeah.
I still like you. I still like you.
You're fun.
I am fun. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. I am so grateful. We are so grateful. We are so grateful.
Absolutely.
We're so grateful.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. It's
And
always
we'll see
fun
you.
hanging out with you guys.
It's fun.
Thanks for having us.
All right. Well, good night, y'all. Hopefully, we see you tomorrow.
Good night.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Night.
Hey,
See ya.
no, thank you. Thank you. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.